Hello everyone, it's SK95. Welcome back to more Sonic X Shadow Generations, the Sonic Generations portion of the game. Last time we beat the Egg Dragoon in Silver, and this time, time to try to defeat the dark mysterious enemy. These gears are broken. If you insert a Chaos Emerald into each gear, its power may be able to repair it. Collect all Chaos Emeralds to repair the gears. Let's see what it says. First emerald, the green emerald. Enter that gear and immediately do that, and it starts turning. Second one, the purple Chaos Emerald. Enter into that gear, and it also starts turning as well as it causes the thing to crank. Enter the blue Chaos Emerald into that gear, and then it starts turning with it as well, causing the entire gears to start cranking. Now the thing is starting to act more and more like an actual gear system. The yellow Chaos Emerald is now inserted, and the gear starts moving. The red Chaos Emerald, which means the gear is repaired and starts moving. So, yeah, the gears act like a clock. So, essentially, it's like how gears in a clock work. So, yeah, there's pretty much hearing just cranking in the background. I like the whole gimmick of the fact that there's no audio from the game when things start cranking. It's really funny and very strange. But at the same time, though, it's actually something that makes sense. I mean, the ambience and sound is gone. You can't exactly hear any game audio in the beginning as well. And with that, the final Chaos Emerald, the silver Chaos Emerald we got from Silver, is now inserted. With every Chaos Emerald inserted, the gate is now being lit by the torch on the bottom. When all torches are lit, the final gate is now active. And all the Chaos Emeralds return back to Sonic's. And this is it, the final boss of Sonic Generations. Let's do this.
Okay, Gruesome, you're cornered. So how about you just give up and restore the timeline like you found it?
You're not in a position to demand anything, you nasty little pincushion.
Eggman! No wonder!
He had a little help.
Dr. Robotnik?
Nobody calls me that anymore. If you would be so kind as to explain, gentleman genius Dr. Eggman from the future. It will be my pleasure, most excellent and efficacious Dr. Eggman of the past. After Sonic ruined my interstellar amusement park, I stumbled upon a dark primordial essence. I discovered it possessed abilities I have long desired to harness for myself. Namely, that it could travel through the dimension of time, so I decided to utilize its marvelous capabilities and rewrite the past. In order to perfect it, I needed the help of somebody as smart as I am. The only person that smart is me. Oh, you are too kind, my dear future self, and I was happy to help. And now all of time is ours, to do with as we please.
But the more your monster tears through the timeline, the more damage you do to it.
So, I'm going to erase that line and reshape it as I see fit. Huh? And they call me eccentric. No one will judge us anymore after we've destroyed these Sonics forever. Shall we begin then, Doctor? By all means, my dear Doctor.
Destroy me? In your dreams, Eggman. I beat you all the time by myself, and now there's two of me.
Then I'll have twice as much fun defeating you.
Keep moving!
Move all you want. I'm still going to squash you into a blue jelly. That was just to soften you up. Now it's time to meet your doom.
You're tougher than that. Come on.
Not you.
On your feet.
You're not beat yet.
Who are they? They are insignificant. You face worse, Sonic.
Focus your spirit.
We're right behind you. I believe in you, Mr. Sonic.
Embrace the emeralds.
Harness their power, Sonic.
You have to win, Sonic, like you've done time and again.
Time to scramble some Eggman, supersonic style!
The final boss of Sonic Generations! This is the Time Eater! A creature made with science and unknown powers!
Sonic, can you hear me? I worked with me to modify these transceivers.
By holding down the boost button, you can keep boosting. If you hold down the Y button, you can launch classic or modern at any point of direction that you want. Avoid the arms so you don't want to get hit. However, I got hit, so unfortunately for me, I can't exactly get one single achievement. Just boost in order to get up to him, avoid the hand crushing you, and then go into its core.
Don't let your guard down.
Now I'm gonna point something out. This boss is the worst final boss in Sonic history for a decent amount of reason. First, Supersonic, not a bad thing. Now, if you're switching between directions, press the Y button to switch the area. I was pressing X instead. If you have your characters in around an area where you're not comfortable with them, if you try to attack any obstacle, I would not recommend it. If you can't avoid an attack, try switching perspective so you can avoid it entirely. He cannot hit you while you're doing this. However, it does mean that you cannot keep up with him that easily. So unfortunately, the portals and the actual movement itself is not the most good. If you're not boosting, though, you have better control. But if you're boosting, your movement is very linear. Be very careful, as the homing shot is obnoxious. Although it's pretty hilarious. I'm pretty sure Eggman is upside down right now. Anyway, he's going to turn back around in order to try to crush us again. Avoid the crush arm attack, and then immediately go into his core again. Now his design looks more reminiscent of the 3DS Time Eater.
This looks like a homing shot!
Be careful, Sonic.
I think the worst thing about this game has to be the constant dialogue from those guys. So, the unfortunate downside is that dialogue is constant throughout the entire battle, no matter what. There is no way to stop it anyway.
Time energy is building up.
Oh, that's not good. Time energy. Well, you know what that means.
Everybody's all slow now.
I can't do a darn thing to stop it. In case you're wondering if there's any way to stop time energy from building up, it's impossible. Now switch to modern so you can actually avoid the attack and as well as... Oh. Here's the attack I was expecting. Lasers. You stop. Thank you. That attack is annoying. Ironically enough, I actually moved better when I got hit by that.
Be careful, Sonic.
I didn't make it. That stupid time nonsense. I wish I had Chaos Control right now.
The flow of time will be restored. Please keep dodging so you don't get squished.
Ugh. Homing shot. I always get smacked by that thing. You get closer. Come on, get a little bit closer. Come on, Modern. There we go. Better not. The end is in sight.
We'll end it. Burn! Burn to ashes!
Hold left and right bumper in order to do a double boost. I'm actually going to end the boss fight at 69 rings. That's hilarious. But the final boss of Sonic Generations portion of Sonic Generation Eggshell Generations is now done. There is an achievement that you can get in the final boss. However, it requires you to not get hit, period, by his attacks. Unfortunately for me, I did not get it, but it is a very good achievement and it's rare to get it. But at the same time though, I wouldn't recommend going after it if you really, unless you want to go completion route. I'll show off a completion route if I manage to pull it off, but I'm not going to do it today.
Still warm. Time travel.
Talking about. I'll admit, you weren't half bad, Sonic.
Half bad? Are you kidding? He was all great! So, I have a question for you. Once we're home, you think the timeline will be restored? Yep. Just don't think about it too hard.
It was great teaming up with you, or me. Maybe this will fast-track you to learning some new tricks in the future. Wait, I mean, past. Ugh, time travel's a chore. Dude, sweet! And you're only gonna get better!
There's our portal home.
Hey, Sonic! Enjoy your future! It's gonna be great!
So ends the Sonic Generations portion of Sonic X Shadow Generations. Now, this game is definitely a good game if you want to play the original Generations, and I definitely recommend it for those who have not gotten a chance to play it. Especially those who only played Nintendo consoles like I did growing up, until I managed to get a PS3 in order to play it. I then eventually got an Xbox and I could actually play it, and then it's all good and down the way. The technical first time I actually played this game was actually the 3DS version exclusive. There was exclusive content for that game, however, I do not have a capture card for that system entirely, so I cannot show off content about that game. I will, however, talk about that content later in the future. Now, interesting thing, each stage is definitely a great hallmark of the series, however, I will stress that certain stages did not age well when it came down to it. Like, we don't need to talk about Planet Wisp. Planet Wisp was awful. I couldn't play that anymore. Now, technically speaking, I grew up in the 3D era, so I have a lot of history of Sonic when it came down to the more modern games. I only started to appreciate the classics when I got older, but at the same time, it's not easy to play 2D games only, because I am so used to 3D versus 2D, because here's my reasoning and excuse. I can't see where I'm going, and only if I do repeat playthroughs I will actually have more fun. The problem is, I have to have a repeat playthrough in order to have more fun on 2D than 3D. Otherwise, I have no clue what I'm running into, or I fall down a bottomless pit. That's something I don't like. Now, I'm a little sad that I didn't get the chance to show off the skin, however, I will show that off in a bonus video, as well as other content, because it's not actually required or necessary. Now, adventures like Speed Highway is actually a great choice I like. In the 3DS version, though, I will talk about it now, because might as well talk about certain things that were added to the 3DS, because I really am running out of things to say, but the 3DS had 7 stages and 4 bosses, including Time Eater. This is, first stage was Green Hill, second stage was not Chemical Plant, oh no, they went for Casino Night. Third stage was Mushroom Hill from Sonic 3 and Knuckles. Stage 4 was Emerald Coast, which is a fan favorite classic. And then the second one after that one, which would be more of adventure, was Radical Highway from SA2. this escape was exclusive here, so Radical Highway was reintroduced again in the series. You'll figure out why I'm saying a lot of Radical Highway later. Now, unlike the more modern version, the 3DS port did not get that many stages at once. After that era was Modern Era, and that was an era where a first stage of the Modern Era for that game series was Water Palace from Sonic Rush. And afterwards was the DS version of the Tropical Resort from Colors. So yeah, a lot of history is made by each version of things generations, and I would definitely recommend all versions of the game over anything else if you really want to play Generations. If you have a love for the history of Sonic or have never started to play it, it's a good introduction to the series because if you see the stages in the future, you've been interested in the past and you want to play it. Heroes' history with me is I like it, however, the big issue is the obnoxious you have to play the game like several times. It's nowhere near as bad as Shadow the Hedgehog, where you had to play it at least 10 times in order to actually get the true ending, and then you have to play it 11th time to do it. I don't even want to talk about trying to beat that game, because I'm going to have to do a stream of that game tomorrow, and keep doing it until I get more of that game done before we start Shadow Generations. I'm going to be streaming primarily after this game's uploaded, so that's just pretty much what I'm going to be doing. I'm just going to be doing one episode and saga for each one, and for an ending, I'm trying to say. But essentially, that's why it's going to be working. I'm going to be focused primarily on getting every ending, and I have only 3 more to go, so I'm very close. Now, my history of Sonic 06 is I started playing it roughly around the 2010s. I got it for the PS3. I had a PS3 at the time, an Xbox. I only picked the PS3 because my Xbox decided to do the red ring of death, so kind of sucky for that point. But at the same time, I didn't play all the way through until I decided to play Sonic Lost World, which was the most recent game at 2014. Or 13. It was 13. The thing was, I got bored, and then I decided, what other Sonic have I ever finished? Then I looked at Sonic 06. I beat that game in 4 days, including school days. So, as you know, school days last for a short time, long time, so I didn't have much time to play that. So beating it in a short amount of time is actually pretty impressive for my standards. Now, Unleashed is my all-time favorite Sonic game, only because I really enjoy the game, as well as the fact that it's not too serious, but it doesn't also have the cringy dialogue that Colors and the games afterwards happen. Generations X Shadow Generation, Sonic X Shadow Generations has a rewrite. I'll be perfectly honest, I do not play Generations for the story at all. The story in Generations is terrible. It's just awful. Like, it's so many cringy one-liners that I don't even want to talk about. Unleashed, on the other hand, is a definitely good story, and it's not exactly forced to be, like, too cringy dialogue. Now, I definitely will say Rooftop Run's a great choice for Unleashed. It's definitely my all-time favorite pick in that game as well. I love that stage. Probably doesn't want to mention the fact that they decided to run into a laser and I'm smart enough to boost there. My history of Colors is, it's an era where I liked the game. I gave it a first good game, and when I started playing playthroughs, I realized, oh, it's like that. Like, Colors focuses primarily on platforming, which I don't mind platforming in a Sonic game. That's what he is, a platformer. But the downside is, most of the stages I noticed in that game is mostly 2D. There's barely any 3D besides certain areas. Like, any 3D section you see in Colors is going to be a section where you're forced to either do a quick step section, grind rail, or it's a drifting section. That's pretty much all that Colors has. This game was originally made for his 20th birthday, so yeah, that's why people love this game a lot.
Are you sure you saw a door over here? What? You were the one who said you saw a door over here? Well, I know it was one of us. Shut up and keep looking. What time is it? It's the exact same time as when you asked earlier, and it'll be the exact same time when you ask later. There is no time here! Let me just say that this was a brilliant plan that you came up with. Don't get too self-righteous. It'll be your plan pretty soon. I'm gonna dedicate the rest of my life to forgetting it. I heard that! Do we ever win? That depends on your definition of win. Beating Sonic. Oh, well then no. That doesn't give me much hope. Maybe I'll go back and get my teaching degree. That's not a bad idea. I've always enjoyed telling people what to do.
You got the custom skill Supersonic, which is what you get when you beat the game. However, we're not going to be continuing on Generations anymore for a little bit. There'll be bonus episodes for this game in the future. But for now, though, let's head back. Because next time on Sonic X Shadow Generations, however, next time will be Shadow's story, Shadow Generations, which is technically a sequel to Shadow the Hedgehog. So, see you all next time.